Hello Sport, you know? Yeah. So for Mitchell Moses' try, so there's two of them were like, yes, and they had it, they drink. The other one,
Two girls. Brings into our group man thing was like, bro, if this is totally us, like fuck, like this, our excitement, it's weird, it's fucked up because we're clearly not gay, but like, why is our like excitement level, how we display it is the gayness, like just we're winning. How we display excitement and happiness of sports is stuff, bro. It was just like, yeah, we're drunk. Let's fucking hump each other. Woo, happiness. I love the brothers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Lab Sessions with your
what's
Labkids. And a very, very first time for the Labkids, we have our very first repeat guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for none other than Lachy and Nuualiitia.
hello, thank you.
Shout out Shirley boys.
Shout out Shirley boys.
Welcome back. How's everybody doing?
Very good.
Disclaimer: we've had a few drinks prior.
No, I haven't drunk anything.
Disclaimer: I've had a few drinks prior, and I've had a night out prior.
Jet lagged as well?
I'm jet lagged, state of origin, hence why my voice is a bit croaky, but
Sorry,
it was all worth it.
jet lag from State of Origin. Did you just fly in?
That
from
sounds cool, eh? It
Yeah.
sounds cooler than.
Did you go to the game?
No, I didn't. I went in. I was in Christchurch visiting some family on holiday on leave, and I watched the State of Origin over there. I won't get into too much detail or yet, but I watched it there, and my voice is a result of the result. My voice is a result
of the result. What was the result? I mean, I didn't watch the game myself. I had more important things to do.
Lachy, why don't you tell us the result, man? Get your intro in.
I do not want to talk about the game.
What do you want to talk about?
I wouldn't either.
I will want to talk about how the All Blacks are going very well this year.
Before we get to that, let me hear ya! Let me hear ya! Queensland, stand up! We can't see ya! Let me hear ya! Ah!
I thought we agreed not to do that.
I just gotta get one out. I'm good now.
Okay.
That's just respect.
Okay.
Cool.
So, obviously, a few important sporting events happened this week. We had the State of Origin game, was the decider, played in Suncorp, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Queensland was supposed to run away with it,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and
We did not.
the Blues pulled off, is it upset of the century, upset of the decade?
Upset.
Was it even an upset?
It was very much an upset. A lot.
Sure.
I saw a lot of talk going online about being the worst team ever. Which team was supposed to be the worst team ever?
No.
All time.
That's a fake narrative there.
Oh, okay, that's a fake narrative.
There were two outstanding teams, neck and neck, and the Blues came out on top. It wasn't none of that, like, upset.
14-4 was the final score?
Yes.
14-4. That's two
Penalty
penalty
kicks. No
kicks.
tries.
Ain't crossed the line.
Ain't crossed the line.
Ain't crossed nothing.
What's been the difference this year?
A lot.
Michael Maguire. Michael Maguire was the difference. Billy Slater was not incompetent, but he had very terrible substitutions.
Ooh. But
Facts. Game 2, we were dominated through the middle. Yes, we were, weren't we?
fact.
Who did we put on Game 3, second half, in the middle? Kalen Ponga, who was notorious for missing.
Tackles.
Exactly.
He was meant to be a big deal, right?
He was.
He was meant to be the game changer.
He was.
But he's also known for breaking tackles at lock, which he's played there at origin level before.
But he's not known for making
Tackles.
Here we go.
Guys, clearly, all of us are not experts at the game of league. We're lovers of the sport and the spectacle that is State of Origin. Mm-hmm. But what we're saying is, yeah, it's easy for you to say that because hindsight is is that lady. But it it was just a great game, a great contest. And gosh,
I watched the first half, and that first half was tight.
100%.
Too tight.
It was too tight, yeah.
Too tight.
And
Too
then
tight.
the Blues managed to hold on and then produce a couple of outstanding tries.
That's exactly it.
And then they run away. That's their first. Queensland were reigning champions.
Yes.
And so is this the beginning of the dynasty, is it?
No, it's not.
Is that a
This year
comment
was a
on
fluke.
passion or
This year was a fluke. This year was a fluke.
it was a fluke?
No. You can't say a fluke.
Yes, I can.
They beat you twice.
Yes, I can. No. But overall, from the NRL era, who's won more Origins? Would you like to tell me, Christopher?
I got my own mic.
But
first of all,
I mean, yeah, there is that argument who's won more Origins. But the only Origin that matters is the one that's happening right now.
True that.
fact.
And the New South Wales Blues just blew them out of the water. Blew us out of the water, sorry, I should say. I'm a
I wouldn't
Queensland
say
supporter.
blew out. I'm more say first try, yes, great, like build up. Second try, lucky. That's my thoughts.
Thank you very much. And then to do it at Suncorp, of all places, that's like the Wallabies trying to win at the Fortress. No, is that
It's
similar?
like anyone trying to win
At the
Eden
Fortress.
Park against the All Blacks. Like that's how big
And they done it.
They did it.
we done it.
And they done it. Shout out to one of my bros online. He shared one of his a story post on Instagram. He said, I just finished laying down the track. I'd appreciate the listen. And so I thought, I have to support my uso, and I clicked through to the link so I can listen to his track to give him, a couple extra views, support the brother, and then share it once I finish listening to his new track that he recorded. I clicked on the link, and it took me to YouTube to a video of Jared Hayne crying into the camera, going, "It's been a long time." And I was like, "Yeah, bloody dick, you got me. You got me." I messaged him, and he
Got
messaged
him.
back, "Thank you for listening." A lot of social media wars came to an end this week. A lot of our Queensland supporters had to eat humble pie. I saw a few guys shaving their heads, getting tattoos, giving away Tim Tams. One of my bros won a lot of Tim Tams this weekend.
Yo,
This week.
shout out the foot.
And if you just saw Lachy stand up, the West Tigers just scored at the end of the first half.
Wow, on the
against
buzzer,
South
on the
Sydney
buzzer.
Rabbitohs.
Yo,
What team do you support in the NRL, Lachy?
Warriors, but my second team is the Tigers, and the Tigers just scored.
Why is your second team the Tigers? Is it because of the Kiwi link with Benji?
That with Benji Marshall, and also my uncle supports the team, so
Oh, okay, cool.
yes.
So it's kind of your first exposure to that kind of team is the team you kind of go for, right?
Yes.
I don't know if I've talked about on a previous podcast, but how I came to support Queensland. Do you remember how that came about?
I do. I don't know if everyone else does.
We used to watch the State of O with the boys all the time, and we'd host it at the Lab of
The
all
lab.
places.
Shout out the lab.
And people would ask me, what was your team? And I wasn't that into it, so I didn't have any team. But my NRL team was the Warriors. And that year, our captain was Steve Price. And Steve Price played for Queensland. And in this particular game, I can't remember what game it was, 1, 2, or 3, and where it was, but he got involved in a scrap. And for the first time ever, he decided to throw hands. And this dude was going for gold. He threw about 3 or 4 misfired swings, didn't really connect. And then who swung back at him and connected?
Right.
I can't remember, but when
White.
Steve Price...
Sorry, someone white.
Steve Price got cracked, got knocked out, got taken out of the game, and I was so mad because he was my captain. He was the Warriors captain, so he was my captain. And that was when I pledged my allegiance to Queensland. Which I think for most NRL State of O supporters is quite unique to choose a team as an adult. A lot of times we choose the team that we're exposed to at a young age. My dad was a this, my brother was a that, my uncle was a this. And so we go with that team and then we stick with it. Blind loyalty, some may say.
Blind loyalty. I like that. I hear it.
Why do you support the New South Wales Blues?
Great question.
For some reason, I have a childhood memory that there was an early 90s New South Wales jersey just flying around the house that would all pull on now and then. Not because we supported it, but we weren't rich, so we'd just put on the top. There's that memory that I hold. And then when I finally got into league, all the information and all the players and all the hype that I was consuming was Joey Johns. And then I started to watch more and more, and inevitably you watch his greatness. He's an immortal. Shout out the 8th. And the rest is history.
His name Joey Johns?
Because Joey is slang for a small wallaby, and he's of small stature with a big bum.
In a big game. The best league player in the world in this time, right?
You could say that, yeah, 100%.
Very
Little
good.
Joey.
Other sporting events that happened this week. We've come together tonight to watch this game, in fact, and the All Blacks took on the Flying Fijians.
Yes. Bula.
And despite a valiant effort from the Fijians, the All Blacks ran away with the game.
They flew 5 points in there. Credit to them.
A fantastic 5-pointer, though.
Yeah, it was.
It would have
Very
been
good.
hard to defend that for any team, I think.
Yes.
The crossfield kick out of nowhere.
Then
Inside ball.
Yeah.
And our man, Sevu Reece, was
Watching something.
watching the flowers grow.
He was.
He forgot who he was playing for.
But the All Blacks, the All Blacks blew them out of the water. Is that an appropriate analogy?
I'd say blowout is 50 points.
Okay.
We did not score 50,
We
so
did not score 50.
I'd say no.
Do you have a man of the match? Some of us called for Caleb Clark to score the first try, and what a first try he scored.
Billy Proctor.
Thank you, Caleb Clark. You owed me $15.
Yes, sir.
How about one of these ones?
What's that? I don't know. I'm not up to...
I think it's an old school because my dad pulled it out and he's pretty old school.
Oh, that's gold. Is that what that is?
Yeah, you got that.
That is gold.
That's from the old footy show. Is that footy
It
show
is.
still alive?
No.
No.
Shout out Bo Ryan.
Speaking of the footy show, the Sports Cafe has made a comeback. Sports Cafe-ish. Have you caught on to that buzz?
I have.
And how do you feel about it?
A bit nostalgic. I haven't done a full episode, but no, it's good. See the old heads back at it, bringing up some old stories.
Rick Selitso, Mark Ellis, Lee Hart, and just recently they had Eva the Bulgarian. I barely remember her, but I do.
I remember her.
And those guys were kind of the first kind of exposure for me into the sports commentary with a lighthearted side. And I say lighthearted very lightheartedly because Mark Ellis kind of pushed the ticket when it came to the humorous side of delivering that style of content. But those guys were ahead of their time, right?
Yeah.
But it's good to see them back online. Lee Hart, he's the man, that guy. And it was cool to get to the bottom of some of the stories regarding what was it called? The Snail Olympics. He was a snail racer. You didn't catch any of that?
No.
All right. But it's good to see those guys back. What have you been listening to, watching?
I've been listening to JRE,
Oh, yeah.
Joe Rogan Experience. Mainly Aaron Rodgers,
Who's Aaron Rodgers? Oh, okay.
NFL quarterback,
Yeah.
as well as...
You listen to the Terrence Howard one?
sorry?
Terrence Howard?
No.
He made a double appearance. He's the first repeat guest that had the smallest time in between episodes.
Yeah.
I think it was about 3 or 4 episodes between
'Cause
the
they had
first
to-
one and
they
the
had
second
to-
one because
they had to tie that up, eh?
the internet kind of went crazy for that
What
guy.
you reckon about that?
It's very difficult to to accept some of the things that he says, and even more so because he doesn't. There's no talking him down, talking him back. There's no conversation. What he believes is true, and that's absolute. And you can't tell me otherwise. And it's always hard to talk to someone when they're not willing to walk down the middle, at least for the conversation's sake. But some of the stuff he's saying is whack. His first memory was being inside his mother's womb and so on and so forth. Yeah, you check it out. Check it out.
Yeah, I'll call that one. But is it acknowledged that the level of exploration he goes to, right, with his line of beliefs and his systems and that they are, in comparison to some of the greatest of history's humans. You know what I mean? No. What I mean is the level of the level of scrutiny he cops and the dispelling of all his theories and that. That's the same level of society's dispelling Einstein's relativity theories and stuff like that. He's copying it, isn't he? But to get to where I'm not... Don't... Hold up. What I'm saying is, to be great, you gotta dare great. He's going to places...
Okay.
Can we acknowledge that?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Some of the greatest inventors.
He's on the biggest podcast in the world.
Yes.
Making these bold statements.
Yes.
And no one achieves greatness through mediocrity.
Yes.
Oh, probably can't read that.
Well, what were you trying to show us?
What are you waffling on about? What are you waffling on about?
I'm waffling on about not what he's saying in the content he's saying, but the fact that because he dares to believe in his theories and systems, stuff like that, he can share that comparison with the same great inventors and theorists and scientists. You know what I mean?
I do.
You hear that's all I'm saying.
I do
Get
not.
the fuck off my back. That's all I'm saying. So people out there who don't know shit about shit, which is admittedly me.
Majority of us.
But
yeah.
what I do see from a dumbass point of view, which is where I'm sitting, the people who have made impacts in society and the history of human history, the people who have made the biggest impacts are the people who have pushed the boundaries and questioned the systems of society.
And he is definitely pushing the boundaries.
Pushing it. I'm not saying he right about anything. He could be fucking wrong. But just like Tupac said, he might spark the mind that might change something. That's all I'm saying.
What are you celebrating? Tell the people.
I'm celebrating that the Tigers are only down by 4.5 against the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Where
For
are
our
these
viewers
teams
out
on the
there,
table?
My Tigers are the West Tigers are my second favourite team, behind the Warriors, and my most hated team is South Sydney.
Oh, okay.
So
that's your most hated.
Most hated. Cannot stand them.
Why do you like them? Why don't you like Latrell Mitchell?
Because he's a grub. What he did to Sean Johnson, round 4, unacceptable. How dare you? This is the NRL, not the UFC. You can't throw an elbow in there. You just can't. You can't. And also, my mate Bronson, who supports them, shush. Your team sucks.
Bronson, shush.
Bronson, shush. Your team sucks. You're fighting for the wooden spoon, mate. How does that feel?
What else you been up to this week, Chris?
We just flew in from the O3. Shout out Christchurch City last night.
The Garden City.
Last
Is it still called the Garden City?
Yes.
Or the Flower City? Or
Garden City.
Fluffy City?
Garden City.
Fluff
Shakers.
City?
Garden City.
Oh, Garden. Garden Bishop.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Garden Bishop.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that one, but yeah.
Oh,
Moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just hanging out there over the week. Took some time off work. Took the kids. Spent some time.
School
with
holidays.
Family. School holidays.
Yo.
and I'm tired as fuck. Damn. Holiday with the kids?
Yeah.
You got kids,
It's not
small
exactly a holiday, right?
kids? You on your holiday.
You're going to holiday your kids.
Kids had a great time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I
I saw the videos. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
What did you do for your school holidays, Lucky?
The first week I went to Sydney,
Cool.
spent time with my Australian family.
Yo.
It was good to catch up with them and meet them.
I'll meet them. First time.
First time,
Wow.
yes. Quite the culture shock. A lot of them couldn't understand me because of my, well, as they said, thick New Zealand accent.
Thick Christchurch accent.
Thick Christchurch New Zealand accent. And yeah, it was really good to meet them. Very nice people. And it was great. Great time in Australia.
What did you guys do while you were there?
The main thing was shop because my mum said shopping in Sydney is probably the best thing ever because they have all the stuff, but like,
What stuff are we talking? Like clothes, electronics?
like clothes, electronics, like everything. Like,
Everything?
they have it all there.
Clothes, electronics,
But
cocaine.
sure, but the exchange rate is so insignificant. Like it's only 9 cents, so
Okay.
very good,
Cool.
as my mum put it.
What was the best thing you bought? Duty free.
No, I wasn't. By the time I got to duty free, I was too poor to buy anything. So the best thing I bought was probably some clothes.
Clothes. Cool.
Clothes. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. How long did you spend over in Sydney?
Uh,
A week.
just over a week. So like 9 days. 9 days in Australia, 7 nights.
And if I asked you to give me 3 words to explain or describe your experience in Sydney, Australia, what would those words be?
Family, exciting, and long.
What does long mean?
Long as in the amount of distance we travelled. Like not only did we fly from Christchurch to Sydney, but we also travelled from Sydney City to New South Wales country,
All right.
out in Singleton near Newcastle. For our viewers who are in Singleton, shout out to them.
Shout out to Singleton.
As well
Shout
as
out
we
to
were
all
there for
TV.
a long time. 9 days is a long time. Yeah.
There's something that I've learned recently talking to some of our Australian counterparts is that down the road for them is significantly different to down the road for us, right? Talking recently to some of the fam over there, and he said it's cheaper to fly into Brisbane than it is to fly into Gold Coast. And so we looked into it, and it was like $100 difference. But for him, he'd have to pick us up an hour and a half away from his house. And he's like, that's fine, it's just down the road. I'll pick you guys up if you can save a couple $100. Like, what do you mean down the road? I look up the maps, and it's going to take him like 90 minutes to get from his house to the airport.
What the shit?
One way. That's just down the road. And I'm like, nah, man. But Australia is such a massive place, right? So long, I can agree with long. There's a lot of distance covered when you're visiting different places in Australia.
Most definitely.
What are the opposite species like the? You got your males, and then you have what's the opposite of a male?
Female.
There's so many.
Are we going off spectrum or science?
There's so many, but
I want to go off science, as
Yep.
in there's 2.
Okay.
are you sure?
Sounds like Christopher wants to go off the spectrum, where there's infinite.
Nah, just to bring back Terrence Howard. Based on science and his science, there could be many.
There could be many.
There are many.
Okay, so let's zero in on the topic, the focal point of this discussion is how did you view or how did you experience the female species of the human race in Australia there, Lachy?
What type of female? There's many types. There's a furry female.
Okay.
You know what I
The
mean?
broad aspect of females, or what I think Bing is asking, and the broad aspect is, oh my god, it's just,
Getting that worship on in there.
it is crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. It is crazy.
Did you have a significant other waiting for you here in Christchurch when you went?
No.
So it's a lot easier to have that wandering eye
Yes.
when you're not trying to stab your own eye out.
No, definitely not.
Very good, very good. Recently, I sung in the choir competition, in the non-comp one. We sung at the World Choir Games. There was some agency, some community support agency, I think it was, that sponsored our choir to go and join. So that was cool. We got to experience some international choirs singing in South Auckland, which was very cool. I was expecting to see you in there cheering me on, and then I realized that you were overseas.
I was.
Does Christchurch count as overseas?
Yes.
Yes.
Because?
It crosses the Cook Strait.
Cook Strait.
Is that a sea or is that a...
That is the sea between the North Island and the South Island.
There's the ocean thing.
Do you know the te reo names for the North and South Island?
No.
Yes.
Give us the North Island, Chris.
I don't know.
He don't
Te
know.
ika a Maui?
Sorry?
Te ika a Maui?
Is it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You said that with like...
How sure?
You went up, like you questioned it.
I was asking if you knew what I was talking about. Te ika a Maui, and then the bottom half of New Zealand is called Te Waiponamu.
Sorry?
Te Waiponamu.
Te Waiponamu.
Yes.
Thank you.
The waters that are green like jadestone. But I suggest you guys look into the history of Aotearoa and this great country that we grow to love and appreciate. I don't know if you guys love it and appreciate as much as I do, but I'd like to pay tribute to my forebears and those that came before us that allowed us to call this country our home.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, what have you guys been listening to in terms of podcast?
Bro, I listened to podcast this week with one of the armed offenders squad members. Remember last year there was that dude that shot up the construction site in Auckland City in November. One of the cops or one of the armed offender squad members that was working there, he opened a door and got shot point blank in the head with a shotgun, and the only thing that saved him was his ballistics helmet. And yeah, he talked about that, and it was incredible conversation. Wow. And the trauma that he experienced, and working through his therapy and the sessions with his psychologist, and some of the toughest things that he had to endure or is currently enduring is the space behind doors. He said he walks through his house, and if there's a door closed, he automatically thinks about the dark space behind the door and what it reminded him of during that time.
Damn.
The noise, the sound of the bang, the incident happened in November, just before Guy Fawkes, and the fireworks were going off the whole Guy Fawkes Christmas, New Year's period. Every time he heard the bang, it set him off into panic attacks and so on and so forth. He went down the line somewhere, down south, I think, Pokeno, maybe a little bit further, to play golf with the boys, and down there was a duck hunting season in May, and every time he went to hit a ball, he heard a couple of shots in the air, and they triggered his panic attacks. And
it's crazy.
The best thing was that he goes, he was talking to the podcast host about all the trauma and the stuff that he's experiencing, and then when it went silent, he goes, I still won though. And they both laughed and thought that it was hilarious that he was experiencing all this trauma during their golf game. But the highlight of it was that he still won the golf game against the boys. I mean, priorities, right?
Competitiveness within the boys, within the brothers. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, I mean, I nearly lost my life and everything. And I'm going through something right now. But if I have an opportunity to beat you, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to try my darndest to do it.
And if I do it, I will be 20 times.
And one of the things that came up was, he said it was difficult for him to do therapy or to open up about his feelings because, and he kept saying, because, us guys, we're not encouraged to do that growing up. Us guys, us as men, and it encouraged me to question in myself, when does that kind of thinking become an excuse? I don't do something because, us guys. I have a feeling that once you determine that the way you're thinking is because it's a us guys thing, then the onus is now on you to step out of that.
Oh, I
thinking.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah?
Yeah. But that's you saying that they identify that and therefore they should react after identifying that. But that's not the case for everyone.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Well, for me...
Not everyone's solid like you, Bing.
And that's just a burden that I have to bear.
Not just you.
I sense a bit of an undertone.
I don't know.
Is there something you want to say?
Possibly.
Say it.
Say it. We're all family here.
You know what?
No, don't say it. I kid.
Nah,
Don't say it.
we
Don't
here. We
Don't
here.
say
bro.
it, Chris.
We here, bro.
We here. Say it.
We here, and you've touched on it. Let's go there. Should we go there?
Yes.
Or nah?
Yes.
Hey, we've had a few drinks. Should we go there?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm here for this. Let's go.
No, just you opened it up. The man, the struggling, right? That's why you. And obviously, you were evident, and I say this confidently and factually because I know you very well. We've grown up together, right? And I feel like I know you very well, and you acquire a lot of life skills that.
I already don't like where this is going, but
Yeah.
continue.
that you're fortunate that some of the scenarios and challenges that you face are just, for lack of a better term, water off a duck's back because you acquire these skills and these life lessons.
Stop.
But not everyone has those. So for you to belittle, to generalize, yo, you struggling? Fuck, I was struggling through the same shit. So you should just do this because that's what I do. And then, yeah, you're right, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong but that's your walk. And I feel lame for saying that shit. But that's the fact. You good and you right because that's your walk. But for the other bro, Jimmy didn't acquire any skills. He didn't know how to convey feelings. He didn't know how to walk through challenges. He didn't know adversity. He didn't know how to communicate. He didn't have support. This is just examples, though. I don't know. You know what I mean? So just
I kind of come out looking like an asshole in this conversation.
that was not my intention. But I do call you an asshole from time to time. A lot of times. But not because of this.
Is it my fault?
It is not. Not at all.
Whose fault is it?
It's not a fault. Again, I feel like you're going at it always
Defensive.
Yeah, on attack. Yo, it's not
what it
offense. It is what it is.
Okay. Lachy, how do you feel about talking to a stranger about your feelings?
I feel very uncomfortable. I would rather talk to my mates about it.
How about those times when you try to talk to your mates and they turn everything into a joke?
Then it's bad. If I talk to my mates about something uncomfortable and they turn it into a joke, then they're not really my mates. I know that my mates now would rather be uncomfortable and listen to my problems than turn it into a joke.
Nice. I can appreciate that. And I mean, not to say that all mates have to respond that way, right? You can have those mates where you talk with and they turn everything into a joke, and so you know what to tell them and what not to tell them.
Absolutely.
And then you have that select few where you'd open up a little bit more to that story I was telling the boys and they're all laughing. They're like, yeah, well, actually the truth is this. I actually feel like this. And then one or two people that you talk to kind of know, like, oh shit, let's listen to this guy. I mean, be very fortunate to have those types of friends, and if you have some of those, keep them close.
100%.
If I told you I was seeing a therapist to talk through some of the things that I've dealt with in my life, would you think less of me?
If I was a therapist,
No, if you were Lachy and I was Bing.
No.
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 Why not?
Because you're like family. And family is...
I'm like family.
No, because
Jeez.
you are family.
Oh, okay.
And family is like... I don't know, it's hard to explain, but...
Okay.
I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I wouldn't.
What I'm getting at is the view of males in general. I mean, this isn't a wellness podcast, but here we are.
Not at all. We have no credentials. We have nothing.
We have nothing. All I'm trying to say is that
All we got is some Terrence Howard shit.
if shit's going hard, if you're doing it tough, and you're trying to talk to your mates, you don't know how to talk about it, you don't know how to bring it up, and you're afraid about their reaction, it's okay to talk to someone that you don't know. Be it a therapist or otherwise, is all I'm saying.
A therapist, a minister, a guru, a life guide. It's anything, right?
A life coach, yeah.
Life coach, that's it, yeah. It's whatever works.
Whatever
That sounds
works.
that sounds
Yeah.
like a cop-out, but that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is, right?
I mean, I tried therapists and psychologists and it didn't work for me. Then you're like, that's okay. But don't write it off for everyone else that's going through shit.
100%.
Hey, it's whatever works. Some of us can talk to our mates and it works. Some of us need to talk to...
Our grandma, our uncle, or like, it's anything.
But don't talk to that uncle.
Uncle
But
Terrence.
Uncle Terrence.
But also, like, if you're the mate that is being told about how one of your other mates is struggling, you don't have to be the therapist. You can just be the person that is there just to talk about it. Like, you don't have to be the you don't have to be the person that has the answers, but you don't have to be. But you can just be the person that will listen and just be there for the mate.
100%.
Very good.
You know it.
Very good. And a lot of us fall into that trap sometimes, that because you're telling me all of this big, heavy stuff, I have to give you some sort of answer.
Yo.
But what Lachy's telling us is that you don't have to be the answers man. You can just be the ears man. And sometimes that person just needs someone to listen.
100%. How many times, like, not even off the top of your head, how many times have you been the listen guy and you've given nothing back? But the fact that you were the listen guy has helped him. I didn't solve
Yeah.
it, but like has
Yeah.
helped him immensely just
Yeah.
after that one little conversation,
Yeah.
right? People find it hard to, I mean, it's hard to talk, blah, blah, blah. But people don't talk about the skill of listening, which is shove your shit for just a second and it's selfless. Like people find it hard to like, hey, you know what I mean? Hey.
Like you tell me something that's going on with you,
Yeah.
and then I try to relate it to something that
Yo.
I've gone through, or I try to see a way through it for you and all of that stuff. But
Which again isn't wrong, but
sometimes we're not looking for answers. Sometimes we're just looking to let it out. And sometimes in the process of letting the stuff out, the answer reveals itself to you. There have been many times where I've spoken to people and I'm like, thank you so much. I didn't know that's what I needed to do, but now I know. And they're like, thank you. I didn't even do anything. Like, you didn't have to do anything. You just needed to be there to listen while I threw up this verbal diarrhea.
straight up.
So like we said, this isn't a wellness podcast.
Nah, no way. We still talk about Terrence Howard up in this bitch.
So,
Oh, and the isosceles. What was that? Yeah, sorry.
no, that
I won't.
yeah. I mean,
Did you just bring up maths? Isosceles.
I did. But that's what Terrence Howard
That-
is all
yeah.
about. It's like
and
mathematics.
some of the stuff that helped to confirm, I suppose, some of the things he was saying was just his terminology. He was just saying some words that sounded like they belonged there and that you didn't fully understand, so you kind of give it to him.
It's like he's taking advantage of me not knowing shit. And because I'm a silly human, I'm like, that sounds right. And he looks confident. There must be something there.
And then that man that was in the interview with him,
Yeah, who was that? He's like a legit.
the scholar dude, PhD, and he was like, you're using that word wrong. like so many times. It was very cool. And that
He
man
was
was
so-
very humble.
Bro, 100%. I was gonna say, like, I don't know what his background is, but his interactions is spot on. He wasn't attacking.
Yeah.
He was strictly like professional and like factual.
And it encouraged T. Howard to keep sharing.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, because you get the feeling that anyone that poo-poos his ideas, like, okay, I just won't talk to you.
Because you're a hater.
Yeah.
He had no hater vibes. He was just straight, genuine, and just factual, and sharing his thoughts, but still keen to listen.
Yeah.
Which circled us back to being a listener.
Be a listener.
Be a listener. Be a
Not,
listener.
Not an answer guy.
Don't be a glistener. Be a listener.
What's glistener?
Glisteners are like, you know how things shine and glisten. It's like
Is that
hype and like
a reference to terminology that I've seen online these days called a glizzy? What's a glizzy?
A glizzy is a long john.
What's a long john?
A long john.
Oh, Long John Un?
No, a long.
Long silver.
A glizzy is a long.
Do you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
A glizzy is a long.
Yes.
it sounded like you in reverse right there when you said the last yes.
We've stopped doing fart jokes on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us once again, and we apologize for
Yo,
this lewd behavior.
I don't. Bing does, but I respect it.
Peace. See you later.